And culture has it in such a way that we have forgotten or lost touch with really what is important to us. What do we hold as value? So today, I know all of you here are like overachievers. You always are thinking of something to do, and you may not really just know how to put it together, how to pull that all together in order to create impact, influence, and create income for yourselves. And it's all around value. And we do have our challenge coming up in a little bit more than a week. So it will begin August 6th, August 7th, and 8th. And for the VIPs, it will begin at 6:30. And for the general admission, it will begin at 7:30. Hopefully, you will have availability to gain access to this challenge. It's going to be amazing. It is the challenge. I'm looking here just to make sure we're doing okay on Facebook. We're going to be talking about how to begin living being you. It's a challenge, and specifically, it is for employees, educators, and aspiring entrepreneurs specifically, because I have this true passion for helping other people who have been employees or are employees and who have been educators or who are educators and they are aspiring entrepreneurs, because I've been all three. I've been all three. I've been an employee, an educator, and an aspiring entrepreneur. I've had more experience in the arena of aspiring entrepreneurship. But with that being said, that I know for sure there is a unique discontent in my spirit for being an employee. And that's just me. I have had maybe two or three at the most jobs in my entire lifetime. And I share that with you because there is always this uneasiness about me working for someone for 30 plus years to retire to do what? I just was never in alignment with giving up 30 years of my life under somebody else's umbrella. But that's just me. And I've made a lot of sacrifices and I've learned a lot along the way in my journey in it all. And I hope over time, I will be able to share some of that with you. So I'm here to talk about that today, but I am here to share with you today this concept around value. Oftentimes, I speak to a lot of people. Oftentimes, I will ask them, and I coach a lot of people, and I ask them, what's valuable to you? And culture has it in such a way that we have forgotten or lost touch with really what is important to us. What do we hold as value? So today, I know all of you here are like overachievers. You always are thinking of something to do, and you may not really just know how to put it together, how to pull that all together in order to create impact, influence, and create income for yourselves. And so I like to say, like if you really get into the right rooms, what you'll find is that you'll get into rooms where people will help pull out the best in you. And what I mean by that is that there is a you in you that you haven't met yet. I know it's kind of counterintuitive because, if you're anywhere close to my age, you may say, well, Dr. Marnita, I've been living for over 5 decades. What do you mean there is a you? There's a me in me that I haven't met yet. Well, I mean just that, because you were given so many gifts. You may have only used one in over 5 to 6 decades, but you're still living. So guess what? It's not over for you yet. And so, you know how it says in the Bible, God will make room for your gifts. He didn't say gifts wasn't singular. Did y'all realize that? Gifts was not a singular word when that was said. Your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts with an S, plural, will make room for you. But oftentimes what we do is we use only one of our gifts in a lifetime, because there is so many people out there that is waiting for you to show up and serve them and their problem with a solution that only you have. I'm gonna say that one again because that was pretty good. There are people out there waiting on you. I know I had a conversation not too long with a friend of mine, but I want you to know there are people out there that is waiting for you to show up in order to provide the solution to a problem that they don't even know they have yet. So I want to take you through a framework that allow you to maybe kind of identify what's valuable to you. Are y'all ready for this? I hope you are. So let's get started. Let's get this conversation started. But if you have any questions, put them in the comment section. And if we don't get to them to this live, just put them in the comment section and I will answer them for you. So when we're talking about how do we gain access to our value or what's valuable to us, let's talk about one thing that I know that I heard I'm in 2 coaching groups, so I have mentors all over the place. But one thing that I heard one of my mentors say is that your perceived past voids will determine your present pursued values. Think about that. Your past perceived voids will determine your present pursued values. Just think about that. Growing up, was there anything that was void in your experience, in your circumstances that you wish you had access to? That may be a present pursued value for you right now. For me, my past perceived void was always aspiring to know more about how to grow better and be more successful. And so during my entire life, almost over 6 decades, I have been pursuing what's valuable to me is becoming a better person all the time. And what I've learned is that people say this a lot. It's almost like people don't hear it anymore because it's said so often. If you only have the right thoughts, then you can grow in a way in which you want to grow. And I think that whole kind of conversation around that, it has fallen on deaf ears for a lot of people, because do you really know what that means? It takes a lot of energy to have the correct thought excellence, as I would call it, because I'm building this whole curriculum around thought excellence under the Thought Excellence Academy. It takes a lot of energy to maintain thought excellence. You have to continue to refocus and repivot the thought. You have to protect really what's going on in the inner thoughts of your mind, because that's where your insight lies. And so if I think about my past perceived voids, that's going to have a direct impact on my present pursued values. What was I missing in the past? Whatever it was, and whatever that desire that I had that I didn't feel that I had access to, that's what I'm valuing now. And, the mere fact that I didn't perceive that I had access to it says a lot to my awareness of it. See, we have access to everything. What's really stopping us is our awareness. Our awareness is so inhibited in a lot of areas. And I'll tell you, it kind of works like this. I was cooking this evening, making me some chicken strips in the air fryer. And I always like to line the pan of the bottom of my air fryer. And so it makes my cleanup a lot easier. And I'm looking for the aluminum foil. And I'm opening cabinets, and I'm looking. It took me all about 3 minutes, and my kitchen's not that big. It took me all about 3 minutes, maybe 4, to oh my God, there's the aluminum foil. It was right there in front of me. So it's not like I did not have access to it. My awareness, for whatever reason, was inhibited. And that's what we go through a lot of times. We have access to everything, but we can't see it because we are limited in our belief that we can have it. And that's what limits our awareness of it. So just know that you have access to whatever it is you want, but you have to develop some insight to your awareness and unlock the limiting beliefs around that you are able to have the awareness to have whatever it is that you desire, because desire is a gift from God. The second thing is in order to have to assess your value, is your present perceived virtues. Your present perceived virtues will lead you to your pursued values. Your present perceived virtue, whatever you find is good, will lead you to your present pursued values. So that's another way to access what's valuable to you. And I'm so hoping this is helping you, because it's really helped me a lot. So what do you find, like, in this world and the culture that you're living right now? What is a virtue, good behavior? What is good that you are perceiving that you can do for the people within your environment, within your community, within your workplace? That's valuable to you. So that's a value. And another part of accessing what's valuable to you is your future perceived vision. Your future perceived vision. So vision is very important. Vision creates everything in your world. Vision allows you to see what other people can't see. Not the vision with your eyesight, but the vision with your insight, because it's the vision with your insight that's the most important. Oftentimes, we're trying to pursue the vision that we have with our eyesight, which is, it keeps us on this wheel of trying to acquire something that we think we need. But what do you mean by that, Dr. Marnita? What I mean by that, it puts us into this conversation that leads us into, are we in the gap of life, or are we in the gain of life? If we are in the gap of life, we're in a fearful realm of life. If we are in the gain of life, we're in an appreciative realm of life. And what do I mean by that? If you're in the gap area of life, that means that you have created something, a goal that has value for you, that's outside of you. You've created this story about where it is you want to go, and that's a goal, and goals are nice. They're great to have. But when you measure yourself against where you are and where you want to be, you're forever chasing this kind of like illusion of a story that you have created. And when you do that, you never get an opportunity, and I was here for so many years, you never get an opportunity to appreciate how far you've come. You never get an opportunity, because you're chasing this story of a goal that you've created in your mind of where you want to be. You never look at how far you've come and appreciate the achievements that you made up until that point. So when you're living in the gap of life, you're always anxious, you're always regretful, you're always emotionally disheartened, and that leads to kind of like an emotion of, what am I doing this for? I can never get there. And you can't, because you can't ever get to this idealized goal, because it's a story, and the goal will always be moved further and further out the closer you get to it. So you never get to this ideal goal that you've set for yourself. But when you're measuring your success, and this is all about personal growth, when you're measuring yourself within the gain of life, that means you're measuring your growth based on the things that you have achieved already. So you started at a particular place, and you've gotten to a certain place within the gain of your journey, and you've been able to mark off milestones as you have gotten to a certain point. And that's what gives you confidence that you can keep going. When you're measuring yourself in the gain, you're measuring yourself based on what's within you, not what's outside of you, what's subjective to you, not what's objective to you, what you have control over, not things that is impacting the decisions that you're making based on a circumstance. You are your circumstance when you're measuring your progress within the gain stage of a journey. So now this is your choice at this point. Now you can choose, if you really want to feel good and confident as you move forward in your journey, if you really want to feel good and confident, you have to consider measuring yourself in the gain of life. That's where all the benefits lies, as opposed to measuring yourself in the gap of life. Because in the gap of life, you would never, ever have a fulfillment of accomplishment, because you're chasing a story, an ideal story that you created for yourself in order for you to live into, and you're de-evaluating the progress that you've already made. So that's what I wanted to share with you today as it relates to personal growth what you look at as valuable to you, and how you can begin to create value not only for yourself, but for other people. So if you are an employee, an educator, or aspiring entrepreneur, this conversation was for you. And we're going to have even more detailed conversations, more in-depth conversation, especially in the VIP section of our Begin Living Being You Challenge. I hope to see you there. I will drop a link on how you can sign up for VIP if that's something that is of interest to you. We have had some tremendous success with helping people find out what's valuable to them and creating a product in which they can create courses or podcasts or forms of assets in order for them to serve their market with. I'm so excited to be able to be a resource in order to help you do that. But if you have any questions, put the questions in the comments section and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you, or DM me, whatever works for you is fine. And we're gonna help you become a person who can create an asset that provides infinite financial resources for you as you move forward and continue to grow. Because confidence is not built forward. Confidence is built as a result of the successes that you have made in the past. So until next time, I am Dr. Marnita on fire with P3 Purposepreneur, your coach for the Begin Living Being You Challenge, and I will see you next time.